who I did see in the spirit of things, as it relates to what I was serving, with your wife. I saw her heart.
Yeah. You saw me as another preacher.
Yes, I did. No. Yes, I did.
Who need to be redeemed in hope.
But I saw the quality that I knew that a progressive preacher would need.
It's always amazing for us to be able to do ministry and the joy of you seeing the other side. For context, for those who are listening, after our first year of ministry, someone told me a building was available. Reverend Carter and his wife, they were retiring from their ministry, and they were beginning to find out who would take over their building and their supplies. And we ended up meeting one night through a mutual friend, and ended up making a deal and connected. And we purchased their materials, keyboard, chairs, books. Almost messed up the deal because I was too aggressive. But because of the beauty and humility of my wife, he graciously, accepted our offer, and we were forward. And then 6 months later, Reverend Carter came and became a part of the ministry. And here we are, 14 years later, still serving together. And this man is well respected throughout this city, throughout this country, as it relates to serving with some of the greats of our city. And at that time, I was a young, first year, 18-month pastor. And for him to be able to see something in us, he and his wife, this Howard graduate, this leader, and connected with us. So, Reverend Carter, what was your journey like? What has it been like?
Okay. It's like, Bishop, it's just ever evolving. And by that I mean, when we first met, I think I mentioned this to you.
Yeah.
That in my mind, I didn't really. It was like a blank tablet.
Wow.
And I did that on purpose. Elder, Sister Joyce, she was just neutral. But I knew this had to be the moment of decision even then. Because first and foremost, as far as I was concerned, I got the impression that you and Pastor Michelle were progressive enough to see this uniqueness, this newness, if you will, that perhaps I was looking for and not realizing it.
Wow.
Having had exposure to traditional religiosity, I thought that it was time to incorporate a type of uniqueness in our worship, in our faith walk.
Wow.
Having said that, when I saw you and saw Pastor Michelle, I think I told you, and saw Zoe, because my goodness, how old was she then?
Well,
5?
she at the church she is. So Zoe's 14, the church 14. Zoe was born in August, the church was in November. So you probably met Zoe when she was about 2.
Wow.
1.5, 2.
Wow.
So
I saw Zoe, but who I did see in the spirit of things, as it relates to what I was serving, with your wife. I saw her heart.
Yeah. You saw me as another preacher.
Yes, I did. No. Yes, I did.
Who need to be redeemed in hope.
But I saw the quality that I knew that a progressive preacher would need. In other words, remember now that this picture is evolving.
Totally understand.
In me, because I'm saying, I've seen this side.
Yeah.
And I was grateful for that exposure.
Yeah.
Now it's time
yes.
to find deliberate purpose to fulfill. That is to say, okay, Lord, all right, what now? So it was like when we left, it was already understood for me that it was safe to go after that picture that was not clear to me.
Yes.
It was not clear to Elder Joyce. But it was time to say, okay, let's see if this evolves like it should. Because fresh out of seminary and being very idealistic, I joined up with 2 men that I thought, let's try this uniqueness here. Yeah. It would be a triad ministry. And it worked too well, too fast.
Wow. Yeah, wow. Yeah.
And I'll leave the rest for the historians.
So how is it? Oftentimes when just for imagery's sakes, Joshua and Moses' generation don't blend well together. Usually,
I disagree.
Yeah. Well, oftentimes we've had a lot of experiences where it's hard for those who may be seasoned to come into a culture where there's a Joshua generation, and then
that's a reality.
Then being able to be
right.
Find life, and find a sense of effectiveness, and find a sense of belonging. You know, with our culture being young, church being, you know, are developing norms, developing certain symbolisms, things of that nature, branding. How was it that you were able to find a sense of life, find a sense of inspiration in that kind of environment?
Great question. And I hope I'm clear here. I had already determined by way of experience that I didn't have an agenda
Wow.
for leadership. I wanted to add to leadership. There's a difference. Yes. I don't have an agenda that is crowding people out because it's got to be my way or the highway.
Which was that was a breath of fresh air.
You follow what I'm saying?
Totally understand.
Again, how you evolve into that uniqueness is the challenge.
Yes.
Because I don't know what that's supposed to look like.
Yeah.
You didn't exactly know what that was supposed to look like.
Yeah.
But when the anchor, as it relates to my decision, was when I saw your wife's heart. And when I say that,
I understand.
Simplistically, and not only did I, but Elder Joyce did too.
Yes.
And so we had to pray about this.
Yeah.
And I could tell that the Lord was telling me, go this way, when my wife's response was, what do you think? Whatever you're doing, I'm doing. I said, we're going to go join that church.
Wow. Yeah.
And she says, you got it.
Yeah.
You got it. Now beyond that, we didn't know what was going to take place.
Yeah.
Not a clue. But that was okay.
Yes.
Because we had already made the commitment in our hearts that we didn't come in with an agenda.
Yeah.
So there's no need to have to worry about us coming in and usurping anybody's power, anybody's perspective per se. We want to add to the equation and not take away from it.
Powerful, that alone, it was powerful that it was a building that you had taken, pretty much an abandoned building, an abandoned 7-Eleven. You and your wife took it, you made it a church, you guys made it gave it life. And then you're a part of something to see us take it over. And then in 9 months, we do a whole renovation, being mindful of the sacrifices you all made with chairs and pews and things of that nature. Then we do an overhaul, and then you're a part of it. I mean, for me, that was just refreshing because I've always wanted that from my grandfather, who I served. And even before we started the church, when I came back home from seminary, I then went. We met and had lunch. And I said, before it's a couple opportunities before I surrender to him, I want to offer you the opportunity that if you want Michelle and I to come to serve, but he in his mind, he wasn't ready to retire. And that was a moment, it was like, man, so okay, I gotta do this. So that was prior to. And then meeting you was like, God still allowed me to see it happen, that someone who was faithfully serving in their vineyard got to see it the other side. They got to be one plants, another waters. And then together, we were able to see that increase. So that it brought me great joy for you to be a part of that process, to see red turning to blue, to see monitors on the wall, and then to watch you come in and find a place of stability and strength to be a source of inspiration for the church, leading our Christian education ministry. But also oftentimes, as a new preacher, most people don't have the seminary training to know what's a good sermon or not. Usually the good sermon is the fact that his charisma.
Right.
But to me, having come in week after week, knowing that I had these veterans or these pioneers in the church that had validated in a very unique way my substance or the fact that I was in the right direction. Not only do you have the charisma to kind of keep people going, but you have to have something because you're like, he's a no tolerance guy. He ain't gonna just be sitting here moved off of charisma. So I think that gave us a sense of validation too, that you saw it was a train that was moving. God invited you on the train, you accepted it as God was leading, and then you found your place to play a major role and to watch us go from location to location to location. So how was that first move or that first transition when you start seeing the church? But you would always come to me, you say, hey, you're doing something good. I want to be a prayer for you because I'm aware of the revolving door. You would always say that to me. That's the beauty of God. The beauty of two ways. The first way that you and I had different experiences. Yeah. But the timing of it allowed it to have a head-on collision that we got to serve that I had my Joshua Moses experience a different way.
Yeah.
So when it was time for me to be Joshua and lead, you've had your myriad of experiences, and then you could be Caleb or whoever else you could be, or your own Joshua in a sense, as you serve and be an instrument or catalyst of change as we serve. So to be able to transcend those roles and exhibit your adaptability, for me, it's always been a blessing to watch you adapt, to watch you be able to adapt in this environment that's forever changing. And really, it's almost like an Abrahamic journey that you were on.
Okay.
In some aspects, because for me, it was really a sense of credibility in a way that I probably was looking for it from familiar places in my life, where God says, no, even if you're going to be faithful on the journey, I'll raise up somebody midway, 35, who didn't know you the first 34 years. It will be that source of symbolism of validation that you need, that you didn't even think you need. And he's just being himself, not even trying to lord experience over. He's just happy to be on the journey, but his presence alone serves as a sense of strength and validation.
Bishop, you've always heard me say it. If I'm not here, it's a good reason why I'm not.
Yeah.
As it relates to trying to convey to my bishop where I am, I want to make sure that that's always understood.
Yeah.
Where we are. We're here as best we can to fulfill whatever purpose the Lord lays on our heart to do. Now, having said that, even when you don't see, even when before possession of the building, I had a knockdown, drag out with him. So in the fight for us, because he had possession of he had other people interested in the building.
The owner of the building.
Yes. And I said, we will come to an agreement, because it was this Picayune perspective he had. I had already said we were stopping such and such a time. He says, no, you were here another 30 days more than that. I said, okay, we don't have to go to court or anything. We'll handle this. But you make sure you give them this building.
Wow.
And he says, okay, agreed. We got an agreement. The rest is history. But what I'm saying is, it was already determined in my mind that this was going to work.
Wow.
It was already given to me. Lord said, go. Lord, go ahead. I said, Lord, I don't want to be a part of a mess. I said, I don't. Please, I don't want to go put anybody's fires out. I want to see the fire burning of salvation, people learning and growing and being saved.
See how the Lord honored your request that you even had an inheritance, and then you had inheritance to give. Then the Lord put you in a position where you can choose who to release the inheritance to. These are things that we don't even realize God is doing when we think about kingdom work. And that's what we try to project. Well, that's what I've been intentional with, trying to lead and trying to have an atmosphere of people that, if I know you're looking for it one way, but God works in a duplicity of ways if we're open to it. Sometimes we're just so narrow-minded. I want my harvest, or I want my money this way. And God has so many ways. And how our puzzle was such an enigma. So the things that I wanted or I desired or how I saw it, it didn't come like that.
Right.
But it came through a piece here, a piece there, a piece here. That I look up, like, this man serves as that mentor, senior leader that I felt like I needed. The church didn't come about this way, but look how it came.
Bishop.
And it had God's presence all over it. So he put you in position to give an inheritance. You behind the scenes fighting. And oftentimes we, as young preachers or entrepreneurs or business owners, or we're smarter than thous, we don't even realize that people are fighting for us to position us for these opportunities. That's amazing.
Now let me say this and say it correctly. I like his feistiness, which is tempered. Okay.
You talking about me?
Okay. I'm talking about you. I hope now he knows we're serious.
Oh, without question.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I say something to Bishop,
if
he notices, I think he can bear witness. If I've got something to say, call it constructive, I don't care. I pull him aside.
Yes.
I do not get in front of folk.
Yes.
To do anything. That's gonna be a pejorative in any way. Towards him. It's because, hey Bishop, can I suggest? or bishop, let me tell you what I saw, or something like that. 99.9999% of the time, I'm giving this cat all the accolades in the world because he deserves it. Some of the things Joshua, might do that I wouldn't dare do. He's walking by faith and not by sight. But misunderstand, I've walked many steps.
The name of the church was called
Walk of Faith.
Walk of Faith.
But I'm saying, whoa, I said, okay. Now let's see, Elder Jordan have a conversation all the time. All right, what can we do to help? You know, because you understand my wife. My sister keeps me on task, man. And then sometimes I even got to push her back. Come on now. Yeah. You know, well, what do you think? I don't want to think. You know, stuff like that. It's just, we're intense with our desire to fulfill whatever the purpose might be. Now, I am not so brazen to speak in terms of what that specific purpose is, other than following the Lord by faith. Show me. How can I help the bishop do this? Or how can I help Pastor Michelle do that? It has to do with the body of Christ. That's where we are. That's where we need to stay.
The moment that you had to tell God, you had to wrestle with God and submit to Him, said, okay, I'm going to yield. And then out of nowhere, you give God a yes. Then all of a sudden, Jermaine and Michelle comes, and then you're able to see it.
Messed me up now.
No, he was able. He identified. That's and I feel God all through this. It's just that you got to live out the promise land. Like, you got to see a building that you took. You did your very best with what you had, and you got to take it to the point, and then you got to be a part of that to see it. Like, wow.
Most people don't know that.
The people don't do that. The pride.
Right.
You know, I'm a young pastor. You could have. I was intentional on my end to say, watch what you say.
Right.
You did this in 9 months. You got to be mindful. This man been here for years. He did a lot of work. This church was growing. Be mindful of how you celebrate. Include him in there, but also be mindful as you're going forward. He's a part of the journey. You know, you don't do this without him.
The idea of understanding the promise being lived. The night before, a week before, Sister Lisa, I went up at night because wife never let me go there at night. I went up by myself. Didn't turn their light on. I went to the front of what we had as our podium. Laid prostrate in the dark. Lord, speak to me. Lord, speak to me. And you know what the Lord said to me? Nothing. It was silence that spoke. Silence that spoke. And see what you're just saying, Brother Ryan, Bishop, in agreement. Yes, that was the beginning of me living my blessing. Because I was about to say, hey, I got enough over here. I can cover and keep going. Oh, I was blessed to hear silence. Because had I answered, it would have been going to take care of this. You got enough to handle for another year and a half or two until the coffers start building up again. Because we were going through just a revolving door situation. I said, Lord, why not? Why now? This was a part of the journey. When I laid flat, I got quiet. And I heard the Lord's voice in silence.
And he got to see, being part of the promise, he got to be a part of a vibrant church, a multi-generational church. He found a place where he was able to teach. He was able to preach. He was able to give a sense of training, be able to give a sense of direction, be able to be a sense of inspiration. You know, he found a place in which God showed him another season of his expansion of his ministry. Being at Word of Life, being able to give God that yes, God showed him how to extend life and extend ministry, not only for him, but for his wife. His wife gets ordained. He's able to serve and be this assistant to the pastor, elder statesman. He's able to walk in this role where he's just the respected vessel. People come to him for biblical knowledge or training or question. He's very, very intellectual in that mind. And to be able to bridge the gap of his intellect and my practicality, it just was a great journey for those who needed something else He was that platform to be able to provide for them great heart for biblical history and scholarship and being able to provide that. It just was a great journey for God, but God was doing it.
Yeah.
There's no way I can be the architect and take credit for that. God planted him. He was working in his section. I'm working in mine. And here we are 14 years later, trusting the process though. It's never a conversation where I had to say, it was all God because he was faithful to his relationship with God. I'm faithful to mine. And if everybody is faithful in their lane and you trust the process, you end up having this collision. But Reverend Carter was that person to me like, hey, Pastor, in so many words, Ron, a couple times he came to me, but he said, like,
go ahead, Ron.
I don't need no spineless spaghetti back pastor. He didn't say it like that.
No,
but I heard, see how the way it works.
No, I did.
Since I'm hood and practical, I interpret it. He said, I need, you got to be able to make the decision, Pastor. Or he would be encouragement in a way that when I wanted to hit a rock, God would use him and give him that wisdom at the right time that I would be able to withstand whatever storm or whatever feeling I was feeling. And he knows how to tell me, you need to get rest, or you need to be mindful, or that was a great sermon that day. Or you really got him today, as a sense of encouragement. But
and see, Bishop, please understand that comes easily for me.
Oh, that goes a long way.
To you, it comes easily.
Yeah,
I mean,
it goes a long way.
And it's because you earn it.
Yeah, it goes a long way, man. I mean, a lot of times, as a pastor leader, that just goes. I don't take it for granted because we only as good as our last sermon. You're only good as your last moment.
Or your last prayer.
You think that you connected or you hit the home run. So when you come along with those moments, I don't. Sometimes you be like, I'm like, no, trust me, brother. The gas tank is a quarter. But the process is just amazing. The process of how we get to certain things. I think if I had to sum our whole time up, it would just be the process and seeing how we were able to get there. We talked primarily about year 1 and 2, and here we are, year 14. We went from the Marysville building, which was a seed, to Lower Baltimore, to Business Park, and then some years later, we were able to purchase a building and do a whole renovation on that process. So when we talk about, Jesus in the flipping tables moment, as Ryan had mentioned, Jesus really flipped the tables because they was disingenuous. Their sacrifices, they were cheating the place of sacrifice, the marketplace, and the den of thieves. So they were cheating the time, giving people these what was supposed to be a prayer sacrifice, and it was half-hearted, or it was a manipulated process. Okay. And then for us to kind of come into a process to give ourselves almost like a able sacrifice. And we were just both trusting God and just being really true to who we were or who we are, and to see fruit from that is just amazing. I think it was a process we both had to be surrendered prior to meeting each other to be able to put it to work.
The Spirit of the living God evolving in me, as the Spirit of the living God is evolving in the bishop.
Yes. So one of the things I look at it is being about my Father's business. Was the engine for me. That was the motivation.
Okay.
I'm about my Father's business. I'm about my Father. So which didn't allow me to be distracted. Which didn't allow me to, even when people misunderstandings or distractions.
Gave you a lot of focus.
It gave me a sense of loving people when they can be unlovable. I'm about the Father's business. So that constantly helps drive.
That's your strength.
That's the default. So you won't, be honest with you, won't cuss nobody out. You won't hit the rock.
Not today.
So I think not hitting the rock, because my default has always been, this will be about my Father's business. So sometimes that's contextual. So I might have to deal with Ryan and Reverend Carter differently. Right. He said it or he did it, but I don't think he really meant that. Right. I think it's something else going on. And then Proverbs, I learned. My pastor blessed me with this. I learned early on because I was fighting battles I didn't have to fight, mental battles, emotional battles. And one day he told me, you got to read a proverb a day.
Wow.
If you read a proverb a day, you're going to appreciate it as you grow in ministry. And as I've read the proverb a day, it helped me get wisdom and understand. God began to allow that stuff to be embedded in my heart.
And you were willing to receive.
Oh, you're able to receive.
Psalm 119.
I hit it in my heart, but I might not say it. So, but I thank you, man. I thank you for being on the journey. I thank you for your wisdom. I thank you for your authenticity as we continue to go forward.
I feel like the time we're going home. We done had Bible study.
Any closing remarks for you, Reverend?
I'm just thankful to be on the journey with you.
Yeah.
I don't see any exit signs, and I ain't gonna make none.
Yeah.
So until the Lord tells me otherwise, I'm gonna keep on the King's highway. I'm gonna keep on this highway. That's my impression.
Well, it all begins with the word.
The word is life.
God bless you.